long as we don't eat, ideally after the sun goes down, which is starting to here right now, then our body will be able to heal and digest. There are a lot of cravings that are related to anxiety. With cravings, you might actually be deficient in certain specific minerals. Because our food all around the world at this point comes from soil that's been used again and again and again, most of the soil that we see around the world has about half of the nutrients. In today's video, we talk about how to not crave salty foods, and what to do if you are right now. So, welcome to today's video. I'm Barton Scott. If you haven't seen one of our videos already, I'm a chemical engineer turned nutritionist, turned formulator, turned creator of one of the most popular brands of minerals out there. And I've learned a thing or two about cravings. So right now, there's a book that's being worked on that's all about cravings and personality and deficiencies and how it all ties together. And what I see a lot of really smart people that otherwise know a ton about nutrition. So if that's you, or if it's you on the other side that you're like, I'm just trying to lose the 30 pounds I've been trying to lose for a long time. Either way, that's fine. This video will still make a lot of sense and probably shed some light on things you didn't quite piece together yet. So I have a question for you. Have you ever found yourself late in the evening, maybe celebrating, stopping by a 7-Eleven to get some ice cream, going into the grocery store, grocery shopping, and getting treats and sweets and things? So if that's you, or if you're more towards the savory side, eating an entire bag of potato chips, even if it's the good for you potato chips, the ones with the good oils and the no red dyes and no MSG and all these different things and a bunch of other things you probably can't pronounce. If you're like most people, then I've got something for you, right? So I've been there too. And what I've realized is, yes, of course, diet is a big part of it. And we'll talk briefly about that here. But there's something else I want to talk to you about. So first, diet. Diet is crucial. And here's the one thing, the really easy thing that you can do diet-wise. Eat more protein during the day. Plain and simple. Whenever I would notice that it was late in the evening, really too late to eat a last meal for the day without it affecting sleep. You guys know about that too, right? Yeah, if you eat late in the evening, that's a huge problem for your sleep. Your body's digesting it and therefore can't be healing and repairing, which is really what the gut and the body and all of its intelligence wants to do for us. So as long as we don't eat ideally after the sun goes down, which is starting to here right now, then our body will be able to heal and digest. And so, and by doing it that way, we don't interrupt our body's natural processes. Okay, so that's the diet piece. That's the timing piece, right? We talked about eating more protein. We talked about timing, and we talked about one way to know that you missed your sort of macros and diet plan for the day. Even if you ate good food choices, you just didn't eat enough, which is where I used to fall into. Sometimes I'd get busy, I'd take a few different calls, meetings, do some content like this. And then before I knew it, it was kind of too late to eat. So making time to eat more during the day, during the right hours. All right. So there's that piece. But then there's also the piece of cravings and also hydration. But let's just focus on cravings right now as it relates to deficiencies. Now, what I've noticed is that there are a lot of cravings that are related to anxiety. And when I say noticed, I had a particularly interesting time where I had a couple injuries and I immediately that day started fasting, started water and mineral fasting. And so that means a little bit of salt in your water and also minerals like what we do at Upgraded Formulas. And I was able to fast 11 days. So how I fasted 11 days, really without pain, got a month's worth of work done. You can see those videos on at Upgraded Formulas on that channel. And so that's something I did a few years ago, and I've led a bunch of people through different fasts online since then as a group, which I find is really the easiest way to do it. All right, so side note that for a second, and let's get back to cravings. So cravings. Let's say you've checked the box and you're eating enough protein for the day, you have enough calories, good calories for the day, because that's the other reason why your body's going after something like ice cream is all at once, it gets a lot of calories because the body's prerogative is not to starve. And so the body just lashes hold of things like that. But with cravings, you might actually be deficient in certain specific minerals. And I know this because at Upgraded Formulas, we've done more hair testing than really any other company out there that I'm aware of over the last 9 years. So what we've seen is patterns, as you might imagine. And when these patterns emerge, it's really interesting. So what we've seen is things like magnesium, things like chromium, things like zinc, things like trace minerals. It include things like vanadium. So, of course we've developed products, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about just teaching you generally a fundamental understanding of why you might need some of these things and why it might be the single thing that's holding you back from your goals, dreams, desires. I'm really not kidding. It's a big piece of why I do what I do, which is I'm so driven to be able to create the absolute best life for me and for as many people possible out there, raise the vibration for the planet and raise what we're able to do in a lifetime and be able to look back on life and go, wow, I can't believe I did all that. I really lived life. I gave it all. I enjoyed what I did for work. And I was able to also start the dance party in the evening if you're at that age. And so, and just generally what that means is I was able to work and I was able to have energy to play, right? Because we need play. We absolutely have to play. Too many of us are living a really serious life, and maybe we go on vacation to another culture and we go, wow, they really live differently there. They're less serious. They're not so stressed. They move at a different pace. There's more time for play. And yes, maybe their food supply just as a basis is better. And also, because our food all around the world at this point comes from soil that's been used again and again and again, most of the soil that we see around the world has about half of the nutrients, like half of what it had 50 or 60 years ago. And so that's why you hear some people talk about our grandparents being the last really fit generation. They were just fit naturally. They didn't have as many cravings because they got a lot more nutrients from their food. So this is also to say, don't beat yourself up. Be easier. Be a little more gentle on yourself. If you are having cravings, if you are finding yourself binging on food, if you are eating that whole bag of chips or two, wow, I've done it. And even if it's not causing like a weight problem or an energy problem, it's definitely affecting your health. Your body doesn't want to have to deal with a bunch of sugar. And so you can be a quote unquote slim person and overall fit, but you can still be like pre-diabetic actually. And so that can have obvious impact on your health. So the minerals we're talking about today, you can find in something called upgraded metabolism for short. But if you just want to take down the list, it's things like zinc and chromium and trace minerals. But it's also things like magnesium that you may be taking already, but you're probably not absorbing. And so you hear me talk a lot about absorption on this channel. I won't go into that in this video. You can click other videos above that you'll see a link here soon. And so that is what I want to kind of push your mental direction towards is, yes, it's diet, but it's great to eat organic, and we really should vote with our dollar. And also, we still need to supplement in a targeted way where we're doing something like testing and not guessing, which is actually one of our trademarks at Upgraded Formulas. So test, don't guess means understand what you uniquely are missing and supplement that. And that's different than saying, oh, my genetics are this. That doesn't tell you the story of your deficiencies. That tells you the story of what could be. And that can be very helpful also, don't get me wrong. But it's even more important, in my opinion, and many others, to understand what you're deficient in right now, because that's really the most actionable plan. And you'll see that more and more as we get into other videos. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Barton Scott, and I love putting out videos like this. So if you don't mind, like, subscribe, hit that bell, stay notified of other videos like this one.